Hi, thanks for tuning in. Today I want to share my pre-loved collection as well as why I love pre-loved items and scouring the pre-loved market for specific things. I also hope this would be a fun video to start a dialogue between myself and anybody out there who might have any questions around the pre-loved market or have any concerns around authenticity or finding the right item for you and things like that. So if you have any questions, as always, feel free to leave them down below, or also feel free to head over to Instagram and I'd be happy to help however I can. The first pre-love item I ever added to my collection was this piece right here. This is my vintage Chanel Jumbo in black caviar with the vertical quilts, and you can see the quilting goes to the back. And this is with the extra large double CC closure and gold hardware, as you can see. I purchased this item from Mallory's.com in 2014. I was in the market for a larger size Chanel bag, and at the time didn't really want to get a classic flap. It was a lot of money for me and wasn't really a style I was into. I also wasn't too fond of the double flap in the classic flap style. So I wanted something that had a single flap, and I wanted something that was a bit unique and not something that I felt like everybody had. So I was looking on the secondhand market for those reasons, and that's when I came across this one right here. And it looked like it was in great condition given that it's from the 90s, and also, you know, was in my price point, was the size that I was looking for. It wasn't caviar leather, and so I decided to add this to my collection. If you've seen my Chanel collection video, you would have seen this there, but if not, I'll link it down below. The next pre-loved item piece that I added to my collection is this one right here. This is my Balenciaga Work Bag. It's in the anthracite lambskin leather with a giant silver tone hardware. I purchased this from fashionphile.com. I'll go back here so you can see the color. I don't really purchase things from Fashionphile anymore, but that's a different story. In 2015, I was looking for a new work bag, so something that was large enough to fit all of my items, but also something that would be like worry-free so that I wouldn't have to baby it. I fly a lot for work, and so this bag would get shoved under the seat in front of me in the overhead bin, just like get used and abused. So that's why I decided to go the pre-love route, and I added this piece to my collection. I don't actually use it for work anymore, but I do love to use this for travel because it is a larger size bag, and it's also nice sometimes in the summer when I'm just wearing a dress and I want to edge it up a bit. I can pair it with this item here. I don't only have bags in my pre-love collection, I have a watch piece as well. So this right here, let me take it off so you can see it more closely. This is my Hermes Ballon Bleu quartz movement in the stainless steel with the alligator strap. It's in the 29mm, so it's the smallest size. This was added to my collection in 2016 from Tourneau. It was a Tourneau certified pre-owned item, and I absolutely fell in love with the Ballon Bleu style. I was looking at what other options there were at the time just to see what other watch pieces there were and things like that. I fell in love with this size and combination. I didn't want the whole thing to be stainless, and I didn't necessarily care if it was an automatic movement or not. So when I saw that they had this particular style and this size and combination, and it was a quartz movement, I thought that was a great deal in terms of getting an item that I wanted and being able to add it to my collection at that time. The next pre-love item in my collection is this cutie right here. This is my Hermes Vespa. It's in the TPM size, orange Epsom leather with palladium hardware, as you can see. I purchased this off of an eBay seller. I believe they were a Japanese seller. In 2017, I was looking to add a fun crossbody to my collection. And although the first couple of bags were on the larger size, I actually tend to prefer smaller bags. And so, given all the other items in my collection, I thought it would be perfect to add a hands-free option in a fun color. I saw some bags online. I was, scouring the internet just to see, get some inspiration, see what styles were out there. And that's when I saw this particular style, which is discontinued now, but was on eBay. So, given it the classic orange color, I just thought this would be perfect to fit those needs. Another non-handbag item in my pre-loved collection is this right here. And this is a belt. You can see here. This is a belt from Miu Miu. It's in this black leather with silver hardware, and I love the rivets for the buttonholes. I purchased this item from therealreal.com, which is quickly becoming one of my favorite websites to look for pre-loved items. So in the summer of 2017, I added this item to my collection just to add a nice belt to my collection and be able to start experimenting with incorporating that into my wardrobe. My pre-loved clothing item that I have as part of my collection is this item right here. This is my Chanel wool blazer. I purchased this in 2017, but it's part of I believe the 2014 to 15 cruise collection that happened in Singapore. It's in this black and white and has these gorgeous buttons. I added this piece to my collection in 2017, so fall of last year. I really wanted to add a Chanel little black jacket to my collection, so I was looking to see what options were available at the time, whether that were the boutique or pre-loved markets. And in my search, I came across this particular item. It was in excellent condition at a great price point, so I went ahead and added it to my collection. I purchased that blazer from therealreal.com. The last item in my pre-loved collection, but certainly not the least, is this one right here. This is my Hermes Birkin 30 centimeter. It's in the color Rouge Vif, which is this gorgeous red color, and the palladium hardware. I purchased this in 2017 from therealreal.com. I wasn't always a huge fan of the Birkin. I felt like I was more of a Kelly person because I like bags that have a top handle and a shoulder strap, so that it just gives you that versatility that you need. But I came across this particular bag in this combination on the RealReal website, and I just fell in love with it. It was in great condition, given that it was I think it's 12 or 15 years old, and was a beautiful red color, so I went ahead and added this to my collection at that time. So those are the items in my pre-loved collection. I want to take a few moments to share some of the key reasons why I love pre-loved items and I love exploring the pre-loved marketplace. There are 4 main reasons why I love pre-loved items. The first reason is mainly around being able to obtain discontinued items. For example, my Chanel Jumbo, this one right here, and my Hermes mini crossbody bag are both discontinued styles that you can't find today, even if you wanted to get your hands on them. Accessing the pre-loved market really gives you the option to explore styles that aren't available today in the boutiques, even if you wished they were in the boutiques today. The second reason why I love pre-loved items is because they can often diminish the pressure to really keep or maintain your items in pristine condition. So an example of that in my collection is the Balenciaga Work. I already knew that I wanted to add this to my collection for work purposes, and as I described earlier, I travel a lot. It was going to get thrown around a lot. I knew it was going to get used and abused. And I like to take care of my items, but I also know that I need to be realistic at times, and it's just a bag. So I knew that I could find a great bag on the pre-loved market where it might have some love already, but I wouldn't really be concerned because I knew I would be adding a lot more love to it, and I wouldn't have to be overly concerned about having one new scratch here or, you know, the leather rubbing in one particular spot. So that worked out great for me. I didn't have to be too concerned because it already came to me in a way that was well loved and just like broken in, and I could go ahead and start using it and loving it the way that I needed to. The third reason why I love pre-loved items is because they allow me to experiment and try new styles with a lot less risk. Examples of that in my collection are this Miu Miu belt and my Chanel blazer. And I say that because belts are not a huge accessory that I incorporate into my wardrobe. The desire flares up here and there, and I definitely will try, but I'm not 100% sure that I want to, you know, invest in a lot of belts. For example, the Hermes H belt kit looks gorgeous, and I love when I see other people wear them and see pictures of them on Instagram. Every time I see it, I want to add it to my collection. But I also know I'm not a huge belt wearer. So instead of jumping all the way into getting the Hermes belt kit and then having it sit in my closet forever, I thought I would try out with some other belt styles first. And sure, I have some belts from Zara and some random belts here and there. But you know, I wanted to actually have a nicer piece, something that had like a unique buckle to it or some character to it that would make me have to think about how to incorporate it into my wardrobe and be able to experiment a little bit more. And that's exactly what this belt did. I was able to style it in a couple of ways and you know, start experimenting with belts. I think this is a great introduction to that, and if I find myself wearing belts a lot, then I can, you know, start considering adding the H belt to my collection. The Chanel blazer is similar in that I'm able to try out the style. You know, I can see what my sizing would be, how this particular style looks on me, and how well I incorporate it in my wardrobe to see if I eventually want to go out, you know, to a boutique and add a classic black jacket to my collection at some later point in time. But because I bought this from the pre-loved market, I am able to add it to my collection now and start experimenting with it now and see if I'm able to get the cost per wear at a point where I can justify the price point of the full Chanel black jacket. And the fourth reason why I love pre-loved items is because it does make some items much more attainable than otherwise. Main example of that in my collection would be my Hermes Birkin. We all know that the Birkins and Kellys, even the Constants, all carry a really hefty price point, not only from the boutique, but from resale or pre-loved markets as well. I wasn't adamant about having one that was brand new in my collection, though I do aspire to one day be able to have that wonderful experience, hopefully. I wanted something that I knew I wouldn't be afraid to use, so it falls a little bit into that second reason as well. But most importantly, the pre-loved market was really the only way I was going to be able to afford to add one to my collection. I started to take a look on different pre-loved market websites to see what kinds of options existed, to be able to research, you know, the different price points based on the different condition of the bag and things like that, and ultimately came across this particular item that I purchased and decided to add to my collection. I hope you enjoyed this video, you enjoyed some of the little bit of eye candy and some of the reasons why I like pre-loved items. I understand that there can always be a concern around authenticity and things like that. So there are some resources out there to help you with, you know, authenticating your items, and then there's some basic level of research that you can also do as well that can help you feel better about purchasing the item. If it's an eBay seller, I always try to ask for additional questions. If it's from websites like therealreal.com, I purchase with confidence in knowing that the items on their website are in fact authentic. If you have any questions, please leave them down below or head on over to Instagram. I'll be happy to help however I can. If you also head over to Instagram, you'll be able to see how I style these items more up close and personal. If you like this video, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up or leave a comment down below. If you have any suggestions, I'd also love to hear those as well. I post videos on YouTube every single Sunday, so if you'd like to see my next video, feel free to subscribe and you'll be one of the first to know that I posted a new video. So until then, bye!